Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the middle of the month love check-in for the sign of Cancer. But before we do that, I just want to let you all know that this month for Christmas, it is my first year on YouTube and therefore my first Christmas. So I just wanted to let you all know that I'm giving away this beautiful Collect, Bear, and Read Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Of course, you'll receive a brand new one. And it will be given out to one of my lucky subscribers. And all you have to do is obviously be subscribed and just leave me a comment letting me know that you're interested. All right, guys? That's it. So let's get right into it, my lovely Cancers. I do love my Cancer audience. Thank you so much for being such a beautiful, sort of supportive part of my collective. You guys have come out very strong for my readings. Like giving me views and likes and comments, and all of that really helps my channel to grow and helps me to continue to provide these readings for you. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And let's get right into it, Cancer. Let's see this little snapshot into your love life for December. All right, we have Right Away, Unrequited Love. I know this card. A little bit beat up, one of the cards that's come out quite a lot, and it is safe for you to love. All right, so interesting, right? We have two very different messages there from the romance angels, but that's okay. Let's get right into your spread. We're going to know more about these messages once we pull out your cards. Now I'm going to do a simplified Celtic spread for you, which is just the unconscious, conscious energies and before and after. And I'm going to take a little look into what's going on now. This reading may resonate with the full month December reading, which is linked in the description, or it may be for a different Cancer altogether, okay? So just take what applies to you. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. And of course, you know, I read the cards as they come out, but it could be vice versa. You know, you may be in a different role than the role that I've placed you in, and that's fine. You guys know if it applies to you, right? All right. Let's get right into it. All right, Cancers. Straight out, we have Five of Pentacles covered with the Four of Wands, the 1111 card. All right, so whenever the Four of Wands shows up in my reading, I'm going to go ahead and link my 1111 video. It's a little short video where I really talk about this card, why it's called the 1111, what the significance of it is, but you can go ahead and check that out. Conscious energies, Nine of Wands, and Death in the unconscious. You have a Queen of Swords and an Eight of Wands. Wow. All right. Death has been showing up quite a lot recently. Also changes. We have a Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Excuse me. Let me get that centered. All right. Five is a number for power struggle. We have two fives here already. So this month is definitely a power struggle. Five of Wands talks about competition. Right? A power struggle between everyone who wants to be in charge, who wants to be on top. I'm better. No, I'm better. No, I'm better. This is a, can be very childish, can be quite brutal struggle of competitiveness. So if we're talking about a love reading, a love check-in, are some of you dealing with someone perhaps, you know, that maybe you're competing with for someone's affections, or someone is competing for your affections? In any case, there is a power struggle going on, but we can get back to that card. Cancer, let's get right into your reading. At the center, we have the Five of Pentacles covered by the Four of Wands. Now, Five of Pentacles is, again, another power struggle. Of course, it's a five card. It's another power struggle. But in here we see a power struggle that has happened between you and a dynamic, a relationship, or a group of people who previous to now you're probably very, very close with, you know, very like-minded, you know, together, united. Nevertheless, there was a power struggle and a divide happened. A split came, and ultimately you paid a price financially, right? This is when communication and union or connection has broken down, and ultimately you're kind of turned out into the cold, as you see the figures here, and you're really paying the price. You're having to perhaps pick yourself up from scratch again because you've been ostracized from the collective. You can see the Five Pentacles, you know, shining brightly. It seems to indicate a church or a house of worship. And so everyone is still inside enjoying each other's warmth, and you're out in the cold. And this is really the feeling of Five of Pentacles. However, I can tell you this. Generally, this happens in a situation that the power struggle was bound to happen anyway. There was always going to be a split. And even though you may be suffering a setback right now, ultimately it is for your better good. It is for your ultimate good. You will progress much further than you would have had you stayed in this dynamic. You're crossed with a Four of Wands, which is interesting. Four of Wands, of course, is it is Venus and Aries energy. It's a new love. It's a new love connection that's very stable, that starts off extremely stable, which is one of the reasons why it is the Twin Flames card, the Soulmate card, because not only is it a coming together, a new coming together, but it is one that's very strong, one that's very loyal right away. Everything is there for a longevity of this connection, right? There's harmony, there's equality between you. It's very, very nice indeed. It's interesting that this energy will cover this Five of Pentacles. I'm going to come back to that. In your conscious and unconscious, I'm going to say, you have indeed, in your conscious position, really been thinking about a particular scenario, and this is obviously in your love, area of love, because this is a love reading, where you've really been kind of looking back on a lot of difficulties, right? A lot of trials and tribulations. You're starting to realize everything that you've been through. It could be that some of you have gone through a breakup, right, that resulted in this. And now you're kind of looking back on it, and you're saying, you know, you're really kind of reevaluating it. You're looking back on it. You may be still caught up in that energy a little bit. And right now you're busy kind of still looking back and sort of still thinking about the past or the recent past, but you also need this energy right now to push through so you can get over this period, so you can really lay this period down. But right now you're still being very reflective, right, Cancer? You're still looking over, still trying to see what went wrong, or it could not even so much what went wrong, but it's more like an awareness. Nine of Wands is when you begin to become aware of the baggage that you've collected, perhaps, you know, some of the burdens, things that didn't look like a burden before. Now you realize they are a burden. Attitudes and behaviors and, you know, modes, different ways of acting before. Maybe now you're starting to begin to see that it's a little bit of baggage, that maybe you've collected a little bit of baggage along the way, and it's, you know, you're starting to see it for what it is, and this is what you're really dealing with this middle of the month. But in the back of your mind, there's death coming and change coming, and you know for a fact that there's a change coming on the horizon. And I'm going to say that this change it's definitely a transformation that's happening, and you feel it happening. You know it's happening because in the back of your mind, it's there. It's funny because you're almost caught. It's like you're caught right in that transition phase where you feel the change coming. You know it's coming in. You can feel it coming in, but your mind is still, you know, still looking backwards a little, still looking backwards. You haven't quite, you know, let go and laid down the past and completely focused to the future. But you're right in that middle area where both are almost overlapping, you know. Coming in, Queen of Swords and Eight of Wands. So it's quite interesting because I think that this is why it's safe to love has come in, because even though there's been a power dynamic, this definitely is in result to a relationship that broke up, maybe recently or in the recent past, that yes, that really caused you a lot of financial hardship, but still you have this energy of wanting to love again. And this is why it's safe to love has come up, because Venus in Aries shows that there is an energy of new. You know, if you look at this beautiful yellow coloring that's coming, this brightness that's suddenly coming over this kind of dullness that's here, you know, certainly over the starkness of death, you feel it coming. Now, Queen of Swords is coming in. I just wanted to mention that because it came to me just then. Queen of Swords is the energy that you're coming into the middle of the month period with. And I think part of this transformation that you're going through and this reevaluation of what you've been through, you're realizing now that it's time for you to be who you really are. Not to cover up, not to hide, not to pretend to be somebody else, not to play a role. The Queen of Swords talks about, you know, showing who you are, you know, having your heart chakra open and in line with the way that you express yourself in the world, you know, not hiding who you are, not hiding your feelings. She's worked very hard to get rid of the masks that she's worn throughout her life, and she insists that those around her are the same way. And so in this middle month period, you know, having gone through this sort of this split, you're coming into a period where you're like, look, you know what? From now on, whoever I'm dealing with, you know, I've had to go through a lot, and I realized that I need to bring who I am to the table, but I require everyone around me to be the same way. You're not taking any prisoners in that way. You're not tolerating any phoniness. In comes the Eight of Wands, which is quite interesting because this can be a chaotic, really, amount of energy coming in, you know, overactivity, too much information, too many people putting their 2 cents in. This is my viral card, but more than anything, this is a card that lets you know it's time to put boundaries in place. Along with this energy that you're coming into this middle month period where you're just like, look, I'm not going to tolerate any more phoniness from anyone, and I'm certainly not going to pretend to be someone I'm not. You're also realizing it's time to put boundaries in place because there have been just way too many people in your business. You know, way too many people trying to, you know, come into you. It's interesting because it's... you have this competitiveness over here, and it could very well be that there was a competitiveness that you lost somewhere. Maybe you were in competition for someone's affection that you didn't even realize you were in competition with. And anyway, this split has occurred, but it could very well be that now you may be having a lot of suitors coming in. You may be dating again, you know, you may be sort of, because towards the end of the month, all of this activity picks up, you know. I just wonder for some of you if this change is coming through might involve an increase in dating now that you're out of this relationship. But in any case, be careful because you need to put boundaries in place. There's a feeling that you're still looking for this union, this stable union here. This is really, you still desire it. You know, this isn't a case of leaving a relationship and then being fed up with relationships. This is a case of leaving a relationship, knowing that you had to pick yourself up financially, but you're all right with that. You're kind of okay with that. You can do that, but you're ready for love again. You really are ready for love again. This is interesting because this spread reminds me of a reading I just did a few weeks back. But yet you're kind of faced with this Nine of Wands in the sense that you're still kind of, you know, you're still kind of reevaluating or reviewing what happened here. But you're ready to go for something new, right? Well, part of this reevaluation also is going to have to be careful with your boundaries as you come into this period. If you're starting to date again, or if suddenly you're getting a lot of... perhaps you just have a lot of people who are coming into you. You know, it could be suitors, like I said, or people who are trying to date. If you're going on online dates, or if you're doing, you know, they have all kinds of dating nowadays, you know. And you may be doing a lot of that, but just be careful that you don't allow too many people to come in, right? You've already established that you want truth from people, but also... you're going to have to set your own boundaries so that this Venus in Aries, 4 of Wands energy can indeed come in. But it's not going to, you know what I mean? You're going to get maybe a few different offers, but which one is the right one? The only way you'll know that is if you put boundaries in place. If you're looking for a new love connection and you're going out dating, how do you choose which one is the right one? Well, you have to know for yourself what you're willing to accept and not accept and start from that position, certainly. It is safe to love, right? But only if you love safely, if you know what I mean, right? Only if you have the right boundaries in place, the right kind of criteria in place, if you know what it is that you want from a relationship and from a connection, and that you sort of ensure that, you know, you don't let people cross those lines with you. It's interesting. You can see the coloring. Oftentimes when you're doing a reading, you should take note of the different coloring patterns as well. You can see that there's a lot of blue here, a lot of sort of stark colors, and yet the bright light is coming from this Four of Wands. And absolutely, I think for some of you, although you may have parted or recently broken up a relationship, perhaps, like I said, that had a financial effect, a new relationship is very much on the horizon. There's your Ace of Cups, and there's your Death on Death. Wow. All right. Hierophant, and there's your Ten of Wands. What did I say, right? Gonna get to a point where you get to the Ten of Wands where you absolutely have to lay it down. Magician at the bottom of the deck. Wow, Cancer. Your readings are always so nice. They're always so powerful. What can I say? You know, it's just... All right, let's get right into it. Nine of Wands here. You're reevaluating, looking back over what you went through in the recent past because you are wanting a new love, right? You want to love again. You know, you want to be safe to love again, and that is in your conscious mind. You absolutely desire it. You want that connection, right? And so you're doing a lot of soul searching here, a lot of reviewing of what you've been through, and I think it's very healthy, Cancer. This is what you need to do to go forward in a healthy way. Look back, and even if you leave a relationship and you're not so like busted up over it, there's still always something to learn. You know, because if a relationship ended, there is a reason for it ending, right? Unless it's one of those rare occasions that the two people just both simply at the same time stopped loving each other, which generally is, you know, it's really usually one person has done something to the other, something has gone wrong, moods or attitudes have changed, egos have changed. There's always something that's changed somewhere along the line. So there is still always something to learn, right? From every relationship and from every breakup. And so this is very healthy for you to do this sort of reevaluation. Certainly with the intention of being healthy for your next lover. Death is coming in. What else can I say? Death has come over death to clarify. You know, this is the Thoth deck, this traditional deck. You are absolutely going through a huge change. You feel it in the bone. You know, to the core of your bone, you can feel this transformation coming in. It's almost as if you see a storm on the horizon. It's not a storm. It's changed. It's changed for the better, but you can see it coming. You can feel it coming. It's like when you're standing there and you can taste the rain in the air before it's raining. It's like that, Cancer. And certainly being a water sign and one of the most sensitive signs along with Pisces, you are absolutely right there. You're aware of it. You're feeling it. And I think this is one of the reasons why you're looking back right now, because you know things are happening right now in your life, and definitely more is coming in. You're registering, you're resonating with this magician at the top of his game. Look at this. He is absolutely radiating with divine talent and ability. You know, he knows his abilities. He knows how to use all 4 elements, 5 elements, even ether to get what he needs, right? To manifest what he needs. Yeah, very, very beautiful. You can see the monkey there. Oftentimes, you know, when we have a monkey on our back controlling us, look at it. Look at the monkey. He's just, you know, there's no control over him. The magician is absolutely, utterly in control. You know, you're not enslaved or beholden to anyone but yourself, and you're just working with absolute ease. Now, you're coming into the Queen of Swords. You have this Hierophant. Interesting. So it could very well be that you're doubling down on your spiritual commitment. You're doubling down perhaps on a type of commitment or a type of relationship that you want to be committed to. This feels really strongly like, once again, you've reevaluated what's happened here. And this transformation is going to be internal and external. And it feels very much to me like with this releasing of sort of any masks or roles that you've been hiding behind, coming out in full force with who you truly are. But then with this Hierophant, of course, associated with Taurus, coming out on top, it's like you have doubling down on a commitment to yourself. You're doubling down on a commitment to only have people who are honest with you in your life, who are truly who they say they are, and a commitment that you're making to yourself. Some of you may indeed even be finding a spiritual element coming into your criteria for a relationship. Because, of course, the Hierophant can also represent spiritual teacher or a commitment to a spiritual path. And it could very well be that some of these changes you're going through, some of this transformation could also be that some of you are changing spiritually, and the spiritual change you're having is impacting your love life or your expectation of what you want in a relationship. 8 of Wands and 10 of Wands. Well, definitely some of you have, like I said, been struggling with people crossing boundaries with you. This could very well be one of the reasons why you had this power struggle here to begin with. And of course, 10 of Wands talks about laying down burdens, laying down baggage. This is very nice in the sense that it could very well be that allowing people to cross boundaries is a certain hang-up or a certain mode of operating that you've been holding on to that amounts to basically baggage, right? The baggage from previous relationships perhaps, or learned behavior. So what's happened is that it's enough, you know, it's enough. You've had enough. You're ready to lay it down. This constant crossing the line with you, expecting too much from you, taking your energy, all of that, which really siphons your strength from you. You've had enough of that. You are now, towards the end of this December period, you will find yourself saying, yeah, enough is enough, right? In some area in your life, there still seems to be a lot of sort of activity coming in, or there seems to still be a little bit too much sort of, I'm going to say, of the wrong energy that's coming in, and you're saying, no more. I'm done with that. Because it was allowing this to happen that allowed this to happen, and I'm not going to have it. This death is really a transformation that's coming in for you, Cancer, on an emotional level and on a physical level and a spiritual level. A change is coming over you, and you're absolutely implementing that change towards the end of December. Now, for some Taurus, I will say that you may have already met your new lover. Right? You may have already met someone. They're not your lover yet, but you may have already met someone that you've fallen in love with, which is another reason why we have Ace of Cups and 4 of Wands here. And you may be still struggling with that feeling of, is it safe? You know, is it safe? You want it. You absolutely want it, but is it safe? Because you're still dealing with the after effects of this past relationship that broke up, you know. And I think that for a lot of you, coming, you know, this middle month period, because this is so strong. Ace of Cups and 4 of Wands is so strong to come in. And you know, at first I was thinking perhaps this will be coming in soon, you know, but more than anything, I feel like this may have already come in, but you're just a little bit afraid to see it for what it is, to accept it. Right? You're just not quite there yet, you know? You're still kind of feeling a little bit hesitant. But this change that's coming in is absolute strong. I mean, when we have double death coming out like this, is very, very strong. You know, some cards don't come out very often, let alone when they come out as a clarifier. So this is letting you know that for those of you who have already met this lover, or who have already met this connection, this transformation that's coming through is to a certain degree, you can't control it. Something is going to come of this, certainly. But a lot of it, like I say, is really going to depend on how you handle your own sort of sense of strength. You know, what kind of boundaries you put in place so that you can feel comfortable to love again. You know, it's the setting of boundaries here and this laying down of some of the baggage from the previous relationship, which is what's going to make it really feel safe for you to love again. Until you're able to deal with some of this, you may continue to have anxiety when this kind of interaction comes in, you know. And so, you know, once you feel more comfortable about this, once you're feeling a bit more, think about what's really going on, and think about what's really perhaps maybe giving you pause for thought here. But in any case, this transformation with death coming in, the changes that are coming with death, you're not really going to be able to stop, you know. I don't think you're going to be able to stop, you know, thinking about this connection if it's already come in. It's so strong. You know, it's so absolutely strong. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that, Cancer. Some of you have You know, you've recently come out of a toxic relationship, but you have met somebody, and this energy of either having met somebody now or in a very near future is so strong coming over all of this that it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. All right, guys. Don't forget to let me know if you're interested in the Colette Baron Reed Spirit Animal Deck reading. If you are, don't forget to let me know in the comments and be subscribed. Hit the bell so you can be notified. If you want to get a private reading, follow the link at the top of your screen. But for right now, Cancer, have a wonderful rest of 2019, and I'm going to see you in 2020. Bye-bye now.